So it's
What do you guys think about switching positions? Like, I've got some players that I really would love to put in different positions, knowing they're probably going to fail at it, but with that comes great growth and learning.
yeah, and I have used players in different positions at times. Parents are, you've got to communicate well with the parents on that one, because they will be giving you a little bit of side eye, but just out of need, sometimes we've ended up throwing a forward back on D, or the other way. I've gone the other way with throwing a D up on forward. And then the other piece with it is I actually have a player this year that she played defense her entire career up to this point, and here she is as a second-year player at U18 and playing as a forward, and she's much better as a forward. And it was just one of those pieces that recognizing that. I think at the youngest age, we do kids a disservice by playing them in positions. Because like if you talk to like Tom has always said, it should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hockey, and I think that there's more growth in the game that way, or more development in players that way too. So, but yeah, I don't mind it shifting players because actually I would say because partly it happened to me as a player later on in my career, where a coach, we were getting on a bus to go to another place, and he said, so you're playing D tonight, and I'd never played defense, and I said, yeah, right, and I kind of laughed, and he goes, no man, we're short, we need you. And I said, well, I've never played D. His response to me was the same thing I said to a player here this last season. When I asked her to go from forward to D, I said, you skate the game well enough that you'll be able to handle it. And he said, just keep them to the outside and protect between the dots. And it's a little bit of an adventure, but that player became a heck of a lot better for it. I know that I became a better player because of it too. So, yeah.
That's cool. I actually like that idea of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's something that I've done particularly early in any season that I have. It's kind of like we're installing just, general concepts, like having a group of 5 go 5 times in a row, but you have to do a different role each time. And just having a different view from all the different roles and understanding how do I make that person's job easier versus how do I make that painful. And just the learnings that come from seeing the ice from different positions. I think that's like super critical for just developing awareness of your job, but also others' jobs.
Greg, I'll comment on that. And Alberta hockey, they have 6 zones, and they pick players to make teams. And they'll ultimately end up picking enough players, 40 from 120 players, to come to a summer camp. So when they're picking those players, we're finding that the players that play defense see the ice and play the game with a higher hockey IQ. So they ended up picking teams with 8 defensemen and not your normal 6 and 4 forward lines, because the 2 defensemen can play forward. They're just finding they're smarter hockey players. Now, the other side of the coin is, and I think Dom might agree with me on this, you only line up for a face-off. In theory, when the game's on, you're first, second, third, fourth, or fifth. But you're right, the discomfort of being assigned to start at a position you're uncomfortable with, I think it's something worth experimenting with. I mean, you've done it, have you?
Yeah, I've always moved players around. I've always felt that's been a beneficial thing, especially when like in high school, there are some games where they literally just don't matter. Like it's great, everyone loves to win, but truly it doesn't matter. So everyone plays in something new or different, and I I've heard from some coaches where they've got, I forget what they called it, but like the flip-flop game where 6 players go back and play defense and the 6 defenders come up and play forward. And, like that's part of it. And he schedules it out, circles it on the calendar. Everyone knows it's coming. Which I think's, good communication, getting in front of it early and letting the parents and players know the benefits. And I still get players, even if you tell them all the benefits, they go kicking and screaming after the fact. That without a doubt 100% of the time are like, okay, that worked out well, I learned a lot, I'm glad that I went through that experience. But yeah, definitely